Hi, I'm Bryn. Most people see the polished marketing executive with the corner office at Parker and Reed Agency. But they don't see the scars. Not the physical ones, those faded years ago. The other kind that stick around no matter how many therapy sessions you pay for. My phone buzzes with a text from Trevor. Don't forget dinner with my boss tonight. Wear something that screams, my girlfriend is way too successful for me. I smile despite the mountain of campaign deadlines on my desk. That's Trevor, making me laugh even when I'm drowning in work. We've been together 3 years now. He's never raised his voice at me, not once. I used to think that was normal until I met him. Already planned my outfit. Now stop distracting me or I'll never make this deadline. Yes, ma'am. Love you. Love you too. I turn back to my laptop when my office door swings open. It's Mia, my best friend since college and now the creative director at our agency. Please tell me you finished the Johnson pitch. The client meeting got moved up to tomorrow. Almost done. Just tweaking the final slides. Mia collapses into the chair across from my desk. You're a lifesaver. Unlike your predecessor who would have had a complete meltdown. That's because I learned early how to stay calm in a crisis. Mia's expression softens. She's one of the few people who knows my whole story. Your dad again? I nod, unwanted memories flooding back. I'm 10 years old, arguing with my father, Richard, in the car. I don't even remember what it was about. Probably something insignificant. His face turning that particular shade of purple. Him yanking the car door open, grabbing my hair and slamming my head against the door frame. The ringing in my ears. The blood. His words. Can't damage what's already broken. Earth to Bryn, Mia says, snapping me back to the present. Sorry, just remembering. You know, most people who went through what you did wouldn't be half as functional as you are. I shrug. Thank my therapist and the restraining order. Later that evening, I'm heading to my apartment when my phone rings. I don't recognize the number, but answer anyway. Occupational hazard of being in client services. Hello? A pause. Then a voice I haven't heard in 8 years. Bryn, it's your father. My stomach drops to my feet. I consider hanging up, but something keeps me on the line. How did you get this number? My voice is ice. Your mother. Look, I know I'm probably the last person you want to hear from. That's an understatement. I think about Sandra, my mother, who stood by and watched the abuse for years. Always with excuses. He's under a lot of pressure, or you shouldn't provoke him. I think about my brother Ethan, the golden child who somehow escaped Richard's rage. What do you want? I ask. I've changed, Bryn. I've been in therapy for years. I'm sober now. His voice cracks. I miss you. I'd like to see you, to apologize properly. 8 years of silence and now you want to apologize? Please, just one meeting. Ethan and your mom will be there too. I should say no. Every instinct is screaming to hang up. But a tiny part of me wants to see him grovel. I'll think about it, I say finally, and end the call before he can respond. I toss and turn all night after that call. By morning, I've decided to go to the dinner, if only to prove I'm not afraid of him anymore. You're going to what? Trevor nearly chokes on his coffee when I tell him, I need to see him, to show him I survived, that I'm thriving without him. Trevor reaches across the table and takes my hand. I'm coming with you then. No. I need to do this alone the first time. Promise me you'll meet in a public place. We're having dinner at Marcello's. Mom and Ethan will be there too. At work, Mia has the same reaction. Are you out of your mind? After what that monster did to you? I need closure, Mia. I've been running from this for 8 years. Saturday evening arrives. I'm the last to arrive, deliberately making them wait. Richard stands when I approach the table. He's thinner than I remember, his hair completely gray now. He opens his arms like he expects a hug. I slide into my seat without touching him. Bryn, you look amazing. His voice is softer than I remember. Thanks for coming, honey. Mom squeezes my arm. Ethan gives me an encouraging smile. Throughout dinner, Richard dominates the conversation with stories about his sobriety journey and vague apologies. I was a terrible father to you, Bryn. the alcohol, the anger issues. But that's not who I am anymore. Ethan jumps in. Dad's been sober 3 years now. He's really put in the work. I notice how Richard subtly directs the conversation, steering it away from specific incidents. Remember when you slammed my head in the car door? I ask suddenly, silencing the table. You said you couldn't damage what was already broken. Richard winces. That wasn't me, Bryn. That was the alcohol. No, that was you. The alcohol just gave you permission, Mom interjects. Bryn, your father's trying. Can't we focus on the future? I catch something in Richard's expression, irritation quickly masked by contrition. 3 days later, I'm having coffee with Carol, Mom's best friend. How was dinner with your dad? She asks cautiously. Weird. He was different. Too different. Carol looks uncomfortable. There's something you should know. Your father has kidney failure. He's on dialysis, but he needs a transplant. Family members are the best donors. The truth crashes down on me. So that's why he suddenly wants to reconnect. He needs my kidney. On the drive home, my phone rings. It's Richard. I was thinking we could have lunch next week, just the two of us. Why didn't you tell me about your kidneys? I ask coldly. A pause. Who told you? Does it matter? Were you planning to butter me up before asking for an organ or just guilt me into it? It's not like that, Bryn. I genuinely want to repair our relationship. Right. 8 years of nothing. And now that you need a kidney, you're suddenly father of the year. I hang up on Richard mid-sentence. My hands shake with anger as I call Trevor. I need to confront him, face to face, tomorrow. I'm coming with you. No, I need to do this alone. But I want you and Mia waiting nearby. The next day, I meet Richard at a coffee shop. He's already seated, looking frail. I wasn't sure you'd come after yesterday. He reaches for my hand, but I pull away. Let's cut the crap. You need a kidney and you think I might be a match. He sighs. Yes, I need a kidney, but that doesn't mean I don't regret what happened. What happened? You mean when you threw me down the stairs? Or when you choked me? Or when you slammed my head in the car door and told me you can't damage what's already broken? Richard lowers his voice. You always had such an imagination, Bryn. I wasn't perfect, but you're exaggerating. Exaggerating? I have the medical records. You were always clumsy as a child, always falling. That familiar twist in my gut returns, reality slipping, questioning my own memories. You can gaslight Mom and Ethan, but it won't work on me anymore. His face hardens. Your mother and brother understand forgiveness, something you clearly haven't learned. What exactly have you told them? That you were occasionally strict? That you had a drinking problem that made you a little mean? His silence confirms it. Does Mom know you told Ethan that she wanted to abort him? Does Ethan know you told me he thought I was pathetic? Richard's eyes widen. Those were private conversations. They were lies. You've been playing us against each other for years. He switches tactics, slumping. I'm dying, Bryn. Is this how you want things to end? You're not dying. You need dialysis and eventually a transplant. The doctors give me 6 months without a new kidney. And there it is, the real reason for this sudden reconciliation. I stand, but Richard grabs my wrist, squeezing hard. For a second, I'm 10 years old again. Then something breaks inside me. Let go. My voice is ice. He releases me, surprised by my tone. Outside, Trevor and Mia are waiting. You okay? Mia asks. No, but I will be. He's still manipulating everyone. I need to show them who he really is. How? Trevor asks. I'm going to set a trap, and I need your help, and Carol's. I call Carol, explaining my plan. I have his medical records, Carol says, and texts where he admits lying to Ethan about you. Perfect. I'm inviting everyone to dinner at my place tomorrow. I want Richard to show his true colors. He won't expose himself willingly, Mia warns. I smile grimly. Oh, he will. Because I'm going to tell him I'll get tested as a donor, and then I'm going to set conditions he can't possibly accept. My apartment is perfectly set for the confrontation. Hidden cameras in the living room, Trevor and Mia in the guest bedroom. and Carol's evidence organized on my laptop. Mom arrives first, followed by Ethan. When Richard finally shows up, I paste on a fake smile. "Dad, come in. I made your favorite pot roast." He looks surprised. "You remember that?" "I remember everything." Halfway through dinner, I drop the bomb. "So, Richard, I've been thinking about your kidney situation. I'm willing to get tested." Mom gasps. "Oh, Bryn, that's wonderful. But I have conditions. First, you need to tell Mom and Ethan the truth, the whole truth." "I don't know what you're talking about." I pull out my phone. "Then let me refresh your memory." I play the recording from our coffee shop conversation. "You said what about me?" Ethan turns to Richard, shocked. "She's manipulating the recording," Richard snaps, his mask slipping. "And these?" I open Carol's texts on my laptop. "Text to Mom where you claim I'm only interested in your money?" Richard stands abruptly. "This is ridiculous. I came here to reconcile, not to be ambushed." "Sit down. We're just getting started." "You ungrateful little—" He catches himself, glancing at Mom and Ethan. "Go on," I push. "Show them who you really are." Richard's face contorts with rage. "You think you're so clever. You've always been a problem, always making things difficult. Just like your mother." "There it is," I say softly. "The real Richard." He lunges toward me, but Trevor emerges from the bedroom, stepping between us. "Touch her and I call the police," Trevor warns. Mia and Carol appear too, cell phones raised, recording. Mom stands, hands shaking. "I want a divorce." Richard looks around wildly. "Sandra, don't be ridiculous. 30 years of marriage and you're throwing it away because she's twisting things?" "No, because I finally see clearly." Mom moves to stand beside me. "I should have protected her. I'm sorry, Bryn." Ethan joins us. "Me too. I never wanted to believe." Richard's face crumples with fury. "You'll regret this. All of you. Especially you, Bryn." "Get out of my home," I say. "And don't contact any of us again." After he leaves, Mom breaks down. "What have I done all these years?" I hug her for what feels like the first time. "You survived him. We all did." 3 months later, Mom's divorce is finalized. Ethan and I meet weekly, rebuilding our relationship. Richard's on the transplant list with no matches yet. I don't feel guilty. Some wounds can't be healed with forgiveness. Sometimes the only way forward is to cut off the infection completely. What would you have done in Bryn's position? Would you have exposed your abusive parent publicly? Or chosen a different path to healing? Is there ever a point where someone's actions become truly unforgivable? Or should we always try to forgive even the worst offenders? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing for more powerful stories about overcoming trauma and standing up to toxic people. Your support helps this channel continue sharing these important stories.